5 days for an autopsy. Rogers, you gotta be kidding me.
This lady emitted some kind of noxious fumes. The attending nurse was unconscious for 20 minutes and still suffers from periodic spasms.
Yeah, this can't be the first time you've cut open a sick person.
HIV, smallpox, TB, that we're prepared for. The unknown, we gotta take extra precautions.
Such as?
The body's already in an isolation room. We gotta contact health and hazmat to ensure proper safety.
Right, and that means drag out the extra large roll of red tape.
So, Rogers, there's nothing you can tell us now.
Pesticides, chemical warfare. Hell, maybe she's E.T.'s first cousin.
Thanks. You talked to next of kin?
Husband's an antique dealer. He's upstate for the day adding to his inventory, and he can't be reached.
I wonder if he knew his wife was from another galaxy. It's a little medical examiner humor. In my opinion, this is probably nothing.
Something made that nurse pass out.
Well, the patient regurgitated all over herself.
I think an ER nurse can handle that.
Yeah, well, the nurse said she smelled cyanide. They got some blood before the panic, and a full tox screen will take a couple of days.
Could be suicide.
Cyanide? I can think of less painful ways of saying goodbye.
All right, until we know better, we'll treat it as a homicide. You said Mrs. Bennett passed out at some private school, right?
These doctors take all your money and then some more. If you ask me, that's the real crime here.
The real crime is that my wife is lying in the morgue, but I can't see her. That my daughter has to go through this.
Yeah, well, when we figure out what happened, we'll release the body.
She's not a body. This is insane. You think I killed my wife over money? Anne was sick. She was dying.
Well, I know that cancer treatment is very expensive, and you didn't have insurance. Must have been about, what, 50 grand?
Doctors, psychologists, pharmacists, try doubling that.
It's a hell of a lot of money.
So do I look stupid to you, officer? If I was going to kill my wife to save the expense, don't you think I would have done it before I went broke?
Maybe it wasn't the money. Maybe you just didn't want to see her suffer.
Let me tell you about suffer. Try looking at your 14-year-old daughter in the eyes and telling her she's not going to die of cancer, too.
After a week away, the office will be a madhouse.
About Ann Bennett, Dr. Haas?
Anne knew she was dying. The surprise is how long she lived. When I first saw her, I told her it was only a matter of time.
Shouldn't she have been in the hospital?
Anne wanted to die with dignity, not with tubes up her nose.
So she'd already given up, huh?
She did have cancer, Detective. At a hospital, it's slash, poison, and burn. Surgery, chemo, and radiation. Unfortunately for women, the medical establishment isn't interested in alternatives.
Dr. Haas, the way I understand it, you either have the operation or you die.
Everybody dies. I'm more concerned with the quality of my patients' lives while they're still with us.
Well, just exactly how do you improve the quality of their lives?
I've developed an all-natural metabolic therapy. It eases the pain. Sometimes actually decelerates the spread of the cancer cells.
That sounds a little bit like Laetrile.
Please. I'm a scientist, not a witch doctor.
Mind if we have a look at her records?
With the proper release from Mr. Bennett, not at all. I'm late. If you'll excuse me, my maid will show you out.
First, I poisoned her. Now the doctors did it. Anne died of cancer.
There was cyanide in her blood, Mr. Bennett. There's a chance that her doctor might have...
So search her office, see what she gave it. Yeah.
Hey, there's nothing we'd like better, but we need probable cause. Did your wife ever say anything?
It was 2 years ago, August 7th. Anne wanted to get away for the weekend. We rented a car, drove to the Hamptons. Best hotel, antique shops, walks on the beach. We got back to the city Sunday night. Anne told me about the lump. She wouldn't even let me go with her to get the results of the biopsy. She had the lumpectomy, and that was the last time we discussed it. She never wanted me to know how sick she really was.
You never talked about it?
The woman was dying, and she had to hold me together. I'm sorry. Anne never said anything about Laetrile to me.
Would you authorize the release of her records?
I don't know what good it'll do.
A lumpectomy and radiation therapy. I recommended a mastectomy and wanted to save the breast.
So she skipped the surgery.
That's right. And 9 months ago, I find a stage 3 tumor with cancer in the lymph nodes.
So how bad is that?
If treated properly, there's a good survival rate, but that means an operation and follow-up chemotherapy, and wanted a second opinion.
Well, there's got to be some give and take, right? I mean, doctors don't always agree.
Mrs. Bennett didn't have a tummy ache, Detective. She needed the surgery.
Dr. Haas didn't think so.
Dr. Haas. You want the lowdown on Nancy Haas? Talk to Valerie West, Margie Doyle, Nancy McKinney. 3 of my former patients who chose Dr. Haas over surgery.
Where can we find them?
Try various cemeteries. They're all dead. The woman is a Class A quack. If it were up to me, I'd have closed her down years ago.
Who is it up to?
State Medical Board, Cancer Society. Seems they can't do anything.
My cousin distributes California raisins. You want to lock him up, too?
If it appears on the FDA's list of unapproved substances.
There is nothing in my client's treatment that is not sold in every health food store in the country.
The penal law is very clear. If you sell apricot seeds as a treatment for cancer, you've committed a crime.
So, you want to slap her on the wrist now?
Your client is looking at jail time.
Jack, I have always admired your stick-to-itiveness.
I assume you came here to talk deal.
Tell me, Mr. McCoy, does the AMA have you on retainer? Those frauds go to conventions in Barbados to discuss how the IRS is closing down their tax shelters while I'm trying to save people's lives.
Those frauds follow FDA guidelines.
Yes, I use apricot seeds, but only as a catalytic agent. They are hardly the primary ingredient.
Why didn't you tell that to the police?
They asked if I was prescribing Laetrile. I'm not.
What's it been, Jack, 20 years? I mean, I've known you to get wet and happy over murderers and rapists, but selling fruit?
It's not the fruit that concerns me, counselor. It's the selling of false hope to unwitting victims.
Oh, where did you get your doctorate in biochemistry, Mr. McCoy?
Save yourself some time. I'll give you 50 hours of community service and a solemn promise not to do it anymore.
Not good enough.
Don't say I never offered. For a conviction, the state has to prove the defendant committed an overt act. My client did not shoot a gun. She did not wield a knife.
She lied. Your client's crap about miracle cures killed Ann Bennett.
Cancer killed Ann Bennett.
If a defendant's culpable act shortens a person's stay on this planet, the law will not permit him to claim that his victim would have died anyway.
The operable word being act. Dr. Haas did not do anything. You can watch a drowning man die. You are not liable for murder.
But if you tie a rope around his feet so that he can't reach a life preserver, you are.
Excuse me, counselor. I don't see the metaphorical rope in this case.
The defendant promised Mrs. Bennett she could cure her cancer without surgery.
As Mrs. Bennett is deceased, I, for one, would like to know how counsel intends to establish that Dr. Haas promised anyone anything.
There's Lily Freed of Scarsdale, Martha Cohn of Cold Spring Harbor, and I could keep on going, Your Honor. Haas told at least a dozen patients.
Prior bad acts, Your Honor. It's inadmissible.
Not if it establishes a pattern of illegal activity. Haas tells one patient she's got a cure, it's a little white lie. She tells 2 patients it's unforgivable. She tells 3 patients she's a murderer. She tells 4 patients she's a damn murderer, and it's all admissible.
We're not talking about a serial killer here, counselor. Defendant's motion to dismiss is denied. But you will not mention any statements made to patients other than Mrs. Bennett. That understood, Mr. McCoy?
Grandpa's taking a nap, Mommy.
Oh, wake him up, sweetheart.
I tried, he won't wake up.
Stuart, don't hang up. Dad? Oh, my God.
Victim's Kenneth Slattery, age 67. His daughter found him. He was unconscious when the EMTs took him out. Said it was touch and go.
You checked the upper floors?
All clear. Daughter said there was a maid, comes in 3 times a week.
Let me guess, today's her day off.
Trouble with maids, never around when you need them.
Looks like he took a couple of blunt force blows to the head.
Yeah? What's the blunt instrument of the day?
Bierstein from his alma mater.
Harvard, class of 55. My alma mater gave out commemorative beer cans.
Juris Doctor degree. Guy was some kind of lawyer.
Doesn't mean he deserved to get beat, Ray.
This is where he got hit, huh?
You got a time?
Blood's just starting to coagulate. Daughter found him at 3 p.m. I'd say it was about 1 to 2 hours before that.
Any forced entry?
No. Whoever did it was let in or had a key.
Slattery's day planner. Today's page is empty. Custody recommendations. This guy wasn't just a lawyer, Ray. He's a divorce lawyer.
Doesn't mean he deserves to get beat, Lenny.
You won't let her answer one question. You're an attorney. Her rights are being protected.
I'm a divorce attorney. Until her criminal attorney arrives, she's not talking.
Even a divorce attorney can see it looks bad for her.
Because my client raised her voice to Mr. Slattery? Come on.
She accused Slattery of being bought off.
She didn't agree with his recollection of what was said 15 years ago. That's hardly reason to kill him.
His recollection was going to cost her $1.5 million. Believe me, that's a reason.
It's just an old man misspoke at a deposition. It's not the end of the world.
There were traces of Slattery's blood in the bathroom of your showroom.
Well, now it is the end of the world, Mr. Shea. If Mr. Slattery survives, a statement from your client could make the difference between assault and attempted murder.
I wasn't trying to kill him.
Kelly, I think you should wait.
No, I want to tell my side. I don't know how he did it, but my ex-husband bought Slattery off.
Ms. McFarland, I'm not interested in...
We had a summer house in Dutchess County. To keep it out of my hands, he used an old power of attorney and he sold it to his brother for a tenth of what it was worth. That's what Jacob does.
Right. Every ex-husband's the bad guy.
I played the game too. I'm not saying I didn't. But Ken Slattery lied. He knew. I didn't wave away my rights. I went to see him to beg him to just tell the truth. And he refused.
So you hit him?
He tried to push me out the door. And I was in such a rage. I picked up this mug and I swung it at him.
It sounds like there's a lot of mitigation here, Miss Carmichael.
$1.5 million worth.
No, I don't care about the money. It's Jacob. You don't understand what it's like to fight somebody who always gets his way.
All right, we'll look into it. I'll make arrangements to have her statement taken.
There's a fiber optic camera attached to the laser so that they can see what's going on the monitor. The solution goes in this tank and comes out this nozzle.
And the pump would be monitored by a nurse?
At all times throughout the surgery.
Is it possible it delivered more fluid than it indicated?
We check every piece of equipment before surgery.
Could I see the service record? Rudnick and Michaels do a lot of surgery here?
Myomectomies, hysterectomies, ligations, they're very busy.
They bring in a lot of business.
They have a very good reputation. Here you go.
It's a 5-year-old machine.
We have an X-ray machine that's older than you are. If it works, it works.
It says here it was signed out for use in operating room 3 that day. Mrs. Gerard was in operating room 1.
Oh, here. It was used on Mrs. Gerard at 7 a.m. Starting at 8:20, it was used in OR 3.
But Mrs. Gerard was in surgery until 9:15. Wouldn't they have been using that machine the whole time? Have you approached the hospital again?
Yes, but they haven't given it their approval yet.
How does your sales pitch work? Do you bring the doctors here?
We go where the money is. Our sales rep brings the machine to the hospital. We show the doctors a videotape, then some committee takes over.
Has your sales rep talked to Dr. Bill Rudnick or Peter Michaels?
Let me find out. It's Dorsey. Is Glynis in this afternoon?
Glynis?
Glynis Ward. St. Mark's is in her territory.
I've made presentations to a lot of doctors at St. Mark's, probably a dozen.
Including Rudnick and Michaels?
Yes, Dr. Rudnick is on the purchasing committee at the hospital. Is there a problem I should know about?
Have you ever been in the operating room with them during surgery?
Just to observe. That's pretty common.
Were you ever in there operating the MedTech electrolyte pump?
No, of course not.
Ms. Carmichael, what's going on here?
How about last November, during surgery on Maureen Gerard?
Why are you asking these questions?
Your sales rep was seen using your machine, administering fluid to Mrs. Gerard. Mrs. Gerard died as a result.
That's not true.
Glynis, wait. Are we going to need a lawyer here?
Ms. Ward, do you have a license to practice medicine?
No.
You better get that lawyer, Mr. Dorsey. I'm charging her with homicide.
Pack up your speculum, Doc. You're going to jail.
What?
You're under arrest for the murder of Maureen Gerard.
You have the right to remain silent. Anything you do say can and will be used against you.
One will be appointed to you.
Lisa, call the lawyer.
Call my wife.
Miss Carmichael, we'd like to discuss a deal.
Why should I cut your client a break?
Well, you haven't proven negligence yet?
But here you are.
Dr. Michaels has evidence. Very damaging evidence about Dr. Rudnick, about their practice.
Okay, you've got my attention.
Plead to misdemeanor assault, pay a fine, take probation.
I don't think so.
I can't go to prison. I can't lose my license.
Dr. Michaels.
Please, please. I have a family. I need my livelihood.
Why? So you can start up another gyno factory? Any plea is going to include prison time and the loss of your license. You can talk it over with your client and get back to me.
Miss Carmichael, this wasn't the kind of medicine I wanted to practice.
It's too bad Mrs. Gerard isn't here to thank you for your dedication.
I don't make light of her death, Miss Carmichael. I am very sorry it happened.
Why do you think it did happen, Doctor?
I don't know the technical explanation. The med tech delivered more fluid than it indicated.
Your best available technology failed.
Computers crash, cars break down, it happens.
It happened in this case because you ignored the warnings from your best trained personnel. Didn't Nurse Pinotti tell you there was a drainage problem?
Yes?
Then why didn't you stop the surgery?
I didn't see a need to. The patient's vital signs were normal.
Did you think she might be getting too much fluid?
Oh, she wasn't, according to the readout on the pump.
Did it occur to you to check the pump?
That would have meant keeping the patient on the sedative drip longer than required. That was a greater risk than the electrolytic fluid.
Or is it because you were in a hurry to get to another patient?
No.
Isn't that the reason you disregarded the risks to Mrs. Gerard?
That's nonsense.
You ignored hospital policy. You ignored warnings from your nurse. What's another shortcut if it means cramming one more patient into your overextended practice?
Why would I endanger the patient's life? It doesn't make sense. That patient's welfare was my foremost concern.
That patient's name was Maureen Gerard. No more questions.
I was sleeping with Pooh. Then I heard noises, like firecrackers.
Did you see where your daddy was?
No, it was dark, and I was scared. And then Daddy drove real fast.
Sweetheart, before the firecrackers, did you hear your mommy and daddy talking?
It's okay, honey. Tell the truth.
Mommy and Daddy were fighting, Grandma. Daddy was yelling. Mommy wanted to go home, but Daddy said no.
That's all right, Bess. You were a good girl. She's answered enough questions.
Hello. It's Marty. Yes, Dad's here with Bess. What? Oh, Marty. I'm so sorry. Marty. No, you did the right thing. Yes, we'll come right over. God bless her. David, our baby's gone. The doctors took her off life supports. Marty signed the form. They said there was no hope.
We're very sorry.
The doctors are taking her organs to donate. It was going to be her 30th birthday tomorrow.
Right?
No. No, she didn't deserve it. It's my fault. I was gonna buy a diamond ring for her. From this guy, Tony.
This Tony's a fence? We need to talk to him.
All I got's his pager. I was meeting him on Cabrini on account of we were coming from Jersey. I wanted Nancy to pick out the diamond. But Tony wasn't there. He was supposed to be waiting in his car, this white Ford. Nancy just wanted to forget it. But I had to buy the diamond before the party. I wanted her parents to see the ring on her finger. Then I saw these guys. I thought Tony was with them. So I got out. And they started shooting. They killed Nancy. Oh, my God. It's my fault. I just should have listened to her.
Maybe I signed at 11:55, but she was brain dead a good half hour before that.
We're going to need her exact time of death, Dr. Shue.
I don't have the exact time.
We have to tell the jury something.
Look, she failed the apnea test, then she was brought into the OR.
The apnea test?
Once a patient's brain function ceases, we take her off the ventilator. If she can't breathe on her own for 1 minute, then she's brain dead.
That's what happened to Nancy O'Neill.
Yes.
Who else would have noted her actual time of death?
Ask Dr. Cosgrove. He was in charge of the organ retrieval. I'm just the neurosurgeon.
There are 7 surgeons in OR, Miss Ross. If you've never seen an organ retrieval, it's like a sale at Loman's. Please, use my card.
Thanks.
Once it starts, there's no time for taking notes. That's what nurses are for.
I'm talking about before the retrieval began.
Don't you have the time she failed her apnea test? It's on her chart.
Yes. 11:20.
That's the time of death.
Because that's when Dr. Shue said she was brain dead.
Right. When a neurosurgeon says you're dead, you're dead. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have a meeting to go to. It was nice talking to you.
They're not accomplices. They acted independently of each other, Your Honor. Now, if the doctor killed her, there's no legal basis to charge Mr. Camacho with her murder.
In People v. Stewart, a stabbing victim died on the operating table because of a medical error unrelated to the wound. The court ruled that the doctor's intervening act did not nullify the assailant's responsibility.
And if I may observe, Your Honor, that in Stewart, the doctor was never even charged.
Because that doctor made an honest medical mistake. There's nothing honest about what your client did to Nancy O'Neill.
Your Honor, I don't know what these lawyers think they know about medicine.
Donald, please.
No,
please
really.
don't. I saved the life of a 16-year-old girl that night. And to be lumped in with this street scum is
Doctor,
beyond
that's
anything.
enough. And you'll be advised to let your lawyer do the talking.
I'm sorry, Your Honor. Your Honor, the people's evidence simply doesn't support the allegations.
Which makes this an issue of fact for a jury to decide.
Your Honor.
Your Honor.
Gentlemen, please. Ms. Ross is right. Since there's enough here to sustain charges against both defendants, I'm going to let a jury sort it out.
Doctor, we heard testimony that you guaranteed Hudson Medical Center you'd have a heart-lung block for them to transplant.
They misunderstood.
And now you're working at Hudson. You'd been wanting to leave Woodward for some time. Isn't that true?
Yes, their insurance company is forcing them to stop doing heart transplants.
You'd applied to other hospitals?
Yes.
And you'd been turned down because of your salary demands, correct?
I really couldn't say.
Your monthly financial obligations are substantial. Alimony, child support for 2 kids, payments on a condo in the city, a home in Sands Point, 2 luxury cars.
Yes. Yes.
You need that big paycheck, don't you? And Hudson Medical Center was the only hospital willing to meet your price.
Yes.
If you delivered a heart-lung block to them that night.
No, that is ridiculous. They hired me because of my qualifications.
Doctor, we've heard testimony from several neurologists that Nancy O'Neill would have survived her injuries.
Well, they're wrong. The fact is she did not survive. She failed the apnea test. She was dead.
Brain dead.
Yes.
You're absolutely sure?
According to the medical standards that we live by, yes, there is no question that she was dead.
People 79. An itemized bill for Nancy O'Neill's stay at Woodward Hospital. It includes all charges incurred during the organ harvest. Doctor, there's an item highlighted. Please tell us what it says.
It's a morphine drip.
What's it used for?
It's a painkiller.
You were giving Nancy O'Neill a painkiller while you were harvesting her organs?
No. This is a mistake. It's not on our hospital chart.
You're right. It isn't. But we checked with the hospital dispensary. People's 80. According to their records, you signed out a morphine drip 10 minutes before Nancy O'Neill was wheeled into the OR. Isn't that what this says?
Yes.
Why would a person you were absolutely sure was brain dead need a painkiller?
She wouldn't. She didn't.
Because if she were as dead as this piece of wood, she wouldn't feel any pain. Isn't that right?
She was dead.
She was alive. For all your godlike pronouncements, you knew that, didn't you?
Objection!
That's why you had to pump her full of morphine, so she wouldn't bolt upright screaming in the operating room while you cut her heart out.
Mr. McCoy.
Was he choking?
I don't know. I came to change his diaper. He wouldn't wake up.
This kid wears diapers?
He's a quadriplegic. Help him.
Get an airway.
Right.
You want to give a hand with the O2?
Got it. Here we go.
Pupils fixed. You got a pulse?
No, nothing.
This kid's blue. Temp is way down.
Mom, what's wrong with Mike? I don't know, honey. Fine.
This kid's gone.
Still nothing. You're not giving up.
We're not stopping.
3, 4.
There's something wrong here. I think you need to call homicide.
Increasing the rate.
You guys are detectives? We're undercover. Special jaywalking duty on 14th Street.
He's got rider's cramp. Must have give out 20 tickets. What's this about?
Michael Sutter, 12. His mother says he was paralyzed from the neck down. She's the one who called 911 at 5:17. The paramedics pronounced him dead.
So a sick kid dies. Why call us?
Ask him. Check his lips. Blue tint. Cyanosis. Kid's got microhemorrhaging in both eyes.
Suffocated?
Looks that way.
No, you're wrong. You must be wrong. Nobody could have done that. I was alone with him all afternoon.
Why don't you take Mrs. Sutter and her daughter to the living room? Did I just hear a confession?
We were at the hospital today. Every Tuesday he goes for dialysis. We came home around 3. He fell asleep on the way back in the van.
And from 3 until you found him, did you check in on him?
Do you do this kind of questioning after every family tragedy?
Only when we need answers. So, you never went out for coffee or anything?
I went to pick up a paper. I wasn't gone more than 5 minutes.
And nobody dropped by?
Nobody.
You take care of your son by yourself. You gave up your career.
There was no sacrifice.
You were holed up with your kid for 2 years. You couldn't have been too happy about it.
What are you saying? You think I killed him? Michael was my son. He was a sick little boy. He just died. God just took my boy away. Michael.
Your mother spent the afternoon with her boyfriend.
Now, we don't know what she told you she was doing, but she told us that you were at home covering for her. You killed your brother.
She said that?
Why'd you do it, Stephanie? Were you jealous of all the attention he got? All the trouble he caused?
No.
Come on. The whole family was falling apart because of him.
Okay, take it easy, take it easy. You're a minor, your family has big problems. Judge is gonna be sympathetic. You just have to tell us what happened. I mean, your brother was barely living anyway, right?
I wasn't there. I was with Kara from my bio class.
Your mom's a better liar than you are, Stephanie.
It's the truth. My mom was always sticking me with him. I mean, all he ever did was lie in bed, and all he ever cared about was watching TV, eating, and crapping his pants. So as soon as my mom left, I ditched him. I'm sorry. I just couldn't stand to be with him anymore.
You had to do it. You had to do it because you loved him. Let it go. It was an act of love, Joe.
I loved Michael. All right, maybe But I didn't do this. I didn't kill him.
I thought Curtis had him.
3 months ago, Sutter spent a week replanting the median on the Southern State Parkway. Forensics surveyed the area.
Conium maculatum, hemlock, 2 acres scattered growth, 30 meters east of construction site. Not exactly a smoking gun.
We've got motive, access to the exact poison, a witness to the feeding. They can't all confess.
Can I leave now?
Not for about another 30 years.
You're under arrest for the murder of your son. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you do say can and will be used against you in a court of law. Nice botany books, Doc. Anything in here on how to grow poison hemlock?
I'm surprised you don't seize my anatomy books and arrest me on porno charges.
That stuff here looks like oregano, smells like oregano, too.
And is oregano. If you're making pasta later, take some.
No other green except for some romaine lettuce that I can tell you was for real. But you can get rid of it. You got no snap in your stems.
Can I have my home back now?
Hey, Doc. Where do you keep this baby? We'd like to take a look under the hood.
I don't own a car.
Oh, well, you just collect the manuals?
I sold that car.
What's this? Car finder. Is this one of those satellite locating systems?
It was an expensive car. I was concerned about it getting stolen.
Well, why don't we activate the system, see what turns up? Lake Hill Country Club. Dr. Lyle Semenko. What, you threw the clubs in with the car?
Hey, Lenny, what's this? More oregano? Wouldn't want to sprinkle this on my pasta, unless you want some.
You're under arrest for murder, Doc. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law.
Dr. Semenko, does Hudson Terrace Hospital have a policy regarding assisted suicide?
Yes. In all New York hospitals, it's strictly prohibited.
And is this ever a subject of discussion amongst your fellow physicians?
Frequently. The rules reflect a wrong-headed view of dealing with death and dying.
Do you and your colleagues have methods to get around these rules?
We physicians risk being charged with trafficking in drugs just by providing morphine to terminal patients. The state doesn't want us to turn them into junkies. And every day in every hospital in this country, a doctor calls for a slow code.
Objection. Contrary to what the defendant thinks, he can't possibly know what goes on in every hospital in the country.
Sustained.
Dr. Semenko, would you please define the term slow code?
When a patient is beyond hope and requires life-saving measures, a slow code means the staff just goes through the motions. They let the patient die.
And this is done according to the patient's instructions?
No, it's done when, in the attending physician's opinion, death would be best.
Michael Sutter wasn't terminal. He could have lived another, what, 50, 60 years?
His heart would have kept on beating, his lungs would have kept on breathing, and the pain would never stop. Sometimes I have to tell people the worst news they think they'll ever hear, the death of their loved one. But somehow, they wake up the next morning and their life goes on. People couldn't function if they couldn't move on. The Sutters couldn't move on. They needed to move on.
Did the Sutters ask you to end their son's life?
There was no doubt about what they wanted. They knew their son's life in any meaningful way was over. I was just the instrument, doing what they wanted done, what they couldn't bring themselves to do.
Thank you, Doctor. Your witness?
Your Honor, it's almost 12. I wonder if we could take our noon recess.
The jury's buying it. Semenko's hammering us.
He's smart. He's confident. He's charming. Same pathology that makes him a serial killer makes him a hell of a witness.
He must have some weakness.
You ever once hear him question what he did? The Sutters needed to move on. Absolute knowledge, absolute certainty.
Some kind of God complex.
His narcissism. Power to save life, power to end life.
I'm fascinated with death.
Jack, somebody this in love with himself isn't going to like having his opinions challenged.
Oh, he'll hate it. One weakness he does have. He's not afraid of you.